from the action. There we go. My eyesight means I won't be able to read any comments if anyone does bother. And this is quite a cool little zoom in function there, which is pulling the table forward. So hello and welcome to Die Rollin. We're both wearing grey as well. That's fun. So yeah, we don't expect anyone to be on at this time of night, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to kind of offload our thoughts after a busy day of gaming. So Christopher, can you talk me through the first game we played today?
So the first game we played today was not the game I'm thinking of, was it? What did we play first? It wasn't this pirate one, was it?
The first game we played today was Dungeon Saga Origins. Man alive.
I hadn't brought it through. That's
it's not an island. I told Chris to stat the games we played in island so we'd remember. So the first game we played today was Dungeon Saga Origins. Christopher joined in halfway through an adventure. I'm not going to tell you how it ended. But yes, if you've seen any of the posts on social media, you'll realise that I was very frustrated with Dungeon Saga Origins.
And anyone who tuned into...
Hello, Nick.
Hello.
It's Nick from Shells of Brimstone that played. You met the guy.
I did.
There we go. Nice to see you, Nick. We're just talking about the games that we played today. So Dungeon Saga Origins.
I mean, if anyone listened to you yesterday, and a few people did.
I did an Instagram live rant about how frustrating Dungeon Saga Origins is if you get knocked out on Adventure 13 of... Yeah, so I was supposed to finish it last night. I was so annoyed at the game I didn't, so I set it up to play today. Didn't get it finished before Christopher came around. So you joined in halfway through the adventure,
yes.
And it went... Well, you'll see on that channel, but you can probably imagine how well it went. Let's ignore that. Hello to you. Yeah, so my eyesight's terrible. The camera's a bit far away. Normally I'm a bit more, I'm a bit more active and able to say what's going on, but I can't read it that well.
Yeah, even with my glasses on, it's too
There we go. We're too old and the lighting is bad. So, what did we play today that wasn't Dungeon Saga Origins?
Okay, so the next game that we played...
Hashtag Origins now on eBay.
Oh.
As in, like, we've got rid of it because of how bad it was. Yeah, it's still on the table. Well, so, not literally, but yeah. I'll get through the lot, skipping loads of levels.
The next game we played was actually quite a good one that I really enjoyed, and that was Starfinder
Pirates of Skydock! Now, Christopher's really saying that because I kept saying Skyrates of Pydock.
Which could be a good game.
Yeah, show the cover, bring it out, bring the box out. Pirates of Skydock, we got sent a review copy from Gale Force 9. Those are the guys who did the remake of the Dune board game, which we really enjoy, and also Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core, which a lot to kind of handle when you're playing the game solo, but it's a pretty good representation of the Alien franchise. So they sent a review copy, and it was... How did you find it?
I really enjoyed it. It was a really good game, very well made, and very well balanced. And even though I lost one game, it didn't actually matter because I was enjoying it. I was having fun.
It didn't matter because it was the game off camera that he lost. The game on camera he wins. But spoilers there.
But you know what I did like about it was that it's a cooperative game as well, or kind of semi-cooperative, isn't it? And basically you're going in together to steal a spaceship, and then you're having a kind of competition between yourselves to see which one is going to be the captain of said stolen spaceship. So it wasn't like we were all guns out for each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of like that there was still that camaraderie between the players.
Yeah, it was a nice thematic game. There wasn't too much take that element, so it's definitely a game you could play with.
No Gary Barlow.
Oh, come on. No Gary Barlow in this. Sorry, Gary. I know you watch the channel. But yeah, so essentially you are, like you say, you're trying to steal a ship, and you are working together, but I kind of said on the review we did of this that basically in the third act of this is when people can kind of be a bit of a dick to each other and kind of like turn traitor. But it's not as bad as Nemesis or something like that, where you're actively trying to kill other people at the table if your card says to do that. Very light, bit of strategy in there.
Very easy to learn.
Though. Easy to learn, easy to play, and you could definitely get this knocked out in a lunch hour as well, which is always a bonus for me, I think. I don't work at somewhere they play board games at lunch anymore, so that is a shame. But yeah, if I did work at a place that did board games, this would definitely be on the table because it's really fun. So keep an eye out for that, which should come on the channel at some point once this guy has edited it. I've got to do a ton of editing tomorrow because I'm off with the kids all week next week and I won't be able to do any editing. So hopefully there'll be stuff next week. Right, so that was Pirates of Skydock, which was your favourite game of the day.
It was the favourite game of the day, yes.
There we go, guys.
Yeah, and I will caveat that with because it was just so simple and easy to learn and play.
And fun. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So the next game that we played was
Star Wars Unlimited.
Star Wars Unlimited.
Yes.
So Star Wars Unlimited, it's a really fun game. I hate that it's that fun because it makes me want to go out and buy cards and yeah, I already got an addiction. I don't want any more cardboard crack in my life. And yeah, it's a really fun game. Really thematic. We had the Star Wars. We didn't film it for the channel. We just had Star Wars music playing in the background, and we were going through it. And yeah, Star Wars Unlimited was pretty great. What do you enjoy about it, Christopher?
Well, the theme, obviously, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so anything Star Wars for me is good. And what I like about the theme as well is they've kind of centered it, they call it Star Wars Unlimited, a spark of rebellion. And it's all centered around the rebellion era kind of characters and places. So there's places from the Rebels cartoon series, there's heroes and places from Rogue One and the original trilogy. So, you know, it's quite nice to have that kind of
cohesion.
Yeah, that's kind of...
It's like they thought about it, right? Yeah. It does feel like they thought about the game.
And it's very easy to play, and I mean, it's pretty much Magic, but instead of playing your whole turn at one go, you actually take it in turns.
Taking
I think
turns is
fairer.
good, yeah.
But yeah,
rather than you kind of sitting there and just watching somebody completely obliterate your forces, it's nice taking the turns to do
you
stuff.
still did that anyway. But,
yeah, I am undefeated at Star Wars Unlimited with just the deck that I got from for free. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that though, because it's a pretty good deck.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was. We played 2 games of that. The second game was a lot closer. It was fun. But yeah, highly recommend if you get a chance to give Star Wars Unlimited a go, definitely check it out. Yeah. They've never sent us any review copy of stuff. This is literally us going, this is this is a good game. And to be fair, even when we get sent review copies, if we don't like it, we will tell you it wasn't for us. But yeah, Star Wars Unlimited, highly recommend checking that out. Unless you're addicted to buying stuff.
Yeah,
if you've got FOMO or anyone
watching our
watching
channel,
this,
is going to be
your Calyx looks as bad as this, I know that. So that was that. The next game we played was...
The next game we played was Age of Eon.
Is it over there? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah,
perfect.
Age of Eon.
Age of Eon it was on Kickstarter. We did manage to get any gameplay up on the channel before their Kickstarter went out, so feel pretty crap about that, to be fair. We got it out to give it a go tonight, and it was a really fun game. Very simple. It was clear that you could just use like suites of cards for that, like suits of cards.
Oh yeah.
Rather than that, but essentially what you've got is you've got 4 different elements represented by 4 different kind of like fire, air, and water. And you're trying to. There's 3 different like lands. You're trying to defeat the other person's character. That you've got 1 character per battle, and winner stays on. And you're basically trying to get the most amount of points in one of the lanes. That's essentially it. But it's very easy to pick up. It seemed quite strategic.
I think you had an advantage, water over fire.
Yeah. I knew you were going to choose fire, to be fair, because it was like Infernus or something. I was like, that sounds cool. I was like, he's going to pick fire. I'll go water. And it worked out pretty well.
I mean, we should try Infernus versus the kind of
Earth guys.
See if there is a type advantage.
Yep. That would be... we're definitely going to get that on the channel. Now, the thing with card games, the reason we haven't really got too many on the channel is because I'm still trying to figure out how to film them. Because when you're doing a card game, you kind of want to see what's on the cards, right? Like people at home want to see that. And at the moment when we do any games which is overhead, you're only really seeing from one side of the table. So we need to figure out how we can film both sides at the same time. I mean, 2 cameras makes sense. But we will try and figure out how to do it, because we'd love to get Star Wars Unlimited on the channel for you guys to watch, and obviously the views. And then also, we've got Age of Eon, we've got Imposter King, which we'll talk about in a minute. We also have 7th Sea, which is a really kind of deep thinking kind of game, but man alive, that was really fun. And if I had any more energy this evening to kind of crunch numbers and stuff, I'd be like, should we just get them out for fun? Because 7th Sea, pretty cool, nice theme and good game. But so we really want to show these to you guys, but it's just I've got to kind of figure out how to film it in a way that's interesting for you guys to watch, and where you can see the details and stuff, rather than having to like edit in every single card we're showing you, because that means I'd have to rewatch it, and like take photos. Oh, it's just a hassle. So we'll figure out how to do anyway. But so Age of Eon, we will be bringing that to the channel. Our review of it is that a game you buy, play, or avoid, Christopher? Put you on the spot there.
I think it's a buy actually, because it's it's a very simple game to pick up and learn. I mean, when you only need to read the rules once. The rule book is
pass it over so we can show people the pictures on the front there. Age of Eon. I'm never sure if that is the right way around or not, but yeah, Age of Eon or Age of Eon. It was on Kickstarter. I think it's a buy from me as well because it's quite a small footprint game. You could easily smuggle this into a suitcase for holiday, where your wife wouldn't notice, and then when you're bored one evening, be like, "Want to play this?" But yeah, it's a buy from me. I think it's fantastic. If you see this in a board game cafe and there's two of you, give it a go. It's only a 2-player game, but really nice theme, really nice artwork on there.
Yeah, great artwork.
Very simple game, but I could see you playing several rounds of that.
Yeah.
And maybe house rules and bits. I don't know, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
So that's Age of Eon. Next is Imposter Kings.
Yeah. Now that was a bit different.
It was different. Now it was kind of different because it feels like you need to play with at least 3 players. There's a basic mode where you play 2 players, and it does teach you the kind of the general idea of the game,
the essence of
the game.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely one you need to play a couple of times before you really get into it. So when we do put on the channel, what we'll probably do is we might just put a day aside to play some smaller footprint games, which you need more than 2 people for. And then because you can play 7th Sea with more than 2 people.
Because actually, I think I said last time we played 7th Sea that I would like to play that with multiple people.
And we might try and do a Star Wars Unlimited where we get 4 decks and 4 people playing that. That'd be really sweet. But yeah, so the Imposter King, it was definitely a game.
Yes, it was.
Technically, it was really nice artwork. Really, once you'd kind of gone through the tutorial, it did kind of make sense of what you were trying to do. But it was very clear that if you knew what you were doing, you'd be having a really fun time with that game, because it seemed like it's a very, very easy game. You're just trying to get the highest number card, but every card you play down has an ability. So yeah, once you've played that and you knew the cards, you know what's in everyone's hands and stuff, the actual distribution of those cards, it'd be a very strategic game, and it can actually be quite fun. The fact you have to get 7 points, that seems like that would last a while though.
It does, yeah. I mean, if we were to film it for the channel, we'd probably do kind of like a jump skip to kind of like the last round.
You see every round. You need to hear Will getting more and more frustrated. It's definitely a game for Will, because I think he'd be sagging people in the back and we'd be like, oh, come on. So yeah, Imposter Kings, stay tuned. That will be on the channel at some point, but not for a while, because like I say, trying to understand how to. That's not so bad to film.
Maybe
to be
coming
fair.
This summer could be a
coming this summer, if you're lucky. What do you guys think about Dead Keep by Simon? So Christopher, I would pass this over to you, but I know you have no Scooby-Doo clue what a Dead Keep is.
Sounds like a Keep of the Dead.
It is a Keep of the Dead. It is the new Call Me or Not kind of dungeon crawler. It looks very similar to Massive Darkness in some ways.
Oh, I liked that.
There we go. He gets something. The art. So for me, I've got enough dungeon crawlers to, and more coming through the post.
We've got the really cool
Dungeon Crusades. We've got League of Dungeoneers coming. So if I didn't already have some miniature heavy dungeon crawlers, I probably would be really interested in this game. I always quite enjoy Simon miniature games anyway. Some of them are a bit lighter, but generally, apart from the Zombicide Night of the Living Dead, a couple of missions definitely not being play tested, I've enjoyed everything that's come out of Simon. I've enjoyed everything I played of theirs. The artwork for it is incredible. It's done by one of the guys who did some of the miniatures and artwork for the Zombicide kind of artist packs, and they've used him for some other of their kind of things. But yeah, for me, I paint miniatures, and I mean, there's some just here. I paint miniatures and they look okay, but the art, those miniatures scare me because the detail looks insane. They look beautiful. So I don't think I'll be able to do a very good job of it. So what do I think of Dead Keep? If you don't have a dungeon crawler, or if you're kind of bored of the dungeon crawlers you've got, I think you could do far worse than picking up a Simon dungeon crawler.
I mean, Simon's a good name.
Yeah, Call Me or Not. That's what it stands for. Yeah. Or Come On. Yeah, there we go. So I'd say I'd be interested in it. It piqued my interest. I am in a phase of my life where I'm not backing anything on Kickstarter, so I'm kind of avoiding it, but also kind of looking into things and being like, oh, if maybe we could pick that up at some point. But yeah, Dead Keep to me does look quite interesting. I'd love to tell you more about the mechanics, but like I say, I've looked at it. I looked through the artwork. I looked through the miniatures. And I was like, man, this looks great. I couldn't paint it look too scary. You have the best dungeon crawl, Gates of Valhalla. Woohoo! You know that game, right?
Gates of Valhalla?
Chris has played this game. He doesn't have a... Once again, Scooby-Doo, what are you talking about?
We're
talking about Shadow of the Brimstone, Gates of Valhalla. Yes, which is fantastic. And Nick agrees because he is a Shadows guy. And my TV is turned on somehow and is trying to do a program. I don't know, maybe. We mentioned Gates of Valhalla. Maybe
and it just switches on because...
Oh my word. Well, there we go. It's up my ass. Sorry, guys. So I would agree. Shadow of Brimstone, best dungeon crawler. Somebody commented on one of the videos saying, "I don't see how this is a role-playing game. You're just like rolling dice." And it isn't really a role-playing game, I guess. There's some elements to it, but
yeah, I think with Shadows of Brimstone, if you're role players, then you turn it into a role-playing game. It's something that you can add role-playing elements into, I think.
What I quite enjoyed the other day is when we actually played Shadows of Brimstone at Aircon, we went back to the Wild West for that adventure I made up. And if I'm honest, I kind of miss going to the Wild West. I really enjoyed, I wasn't playing, I was kind of facilitating it, but I really enjoyed the theme of it. But Gates of Valhalla, I think they did a fantastic job with that. They, all the monsters being most of them being from Norse mythology. I don't know why with the Spanish fort they didn't do the same thing with using Mexican gods and things like that. Am I racist saying Mexican gods? Aztec gods.
Aztec, Incan, Mayan.
Yeah, Incan, Mayan gods. I'm not sure why they didn't do that. It's all in the storytelling, very true, Nick. And yeah, the Gates of Valhalla, I think, is chef's kiss. They did a great job with that. Tudorian Strike Force, however, that is my jam. That is such a good dungeon crawl for Shadows of Brimstone. The fact those guys are pretty nigh on, pretty miserable. In fact, do you know what I'm gonna do? Dungeon Saga Origins, that third level. I'm gonna just put the strike team in there and see how they get on, because those more pups ain't gonna stand a bloody chance. So yes, Dead Keep, check it out. Let me know what you think about it, because personally, I've not looked too deep into it because I'm worried I'd just be like, I must buy this, but it does look pretty good. So that was Imposter Kings. We kind of took a little break. Had some more food. Christopher looked at his deck and tried to figure out how he could beat me with his Star Wars Unlimited deck. And then we went on to the last game of the evening, which was
Vampire the Masquerade Legacy.
Close. Heritage. It's right there. Yeah, it's close enough.
I didn't look at it.
So this is an interesting game, which is a legacy game. So if you don't know what a legacy game is, it's basically a game where you play a set number of games. So let's say 12 games. And 12. Just that's because I think Risk Legacy was 12 games.
Okay.
It probably was a bit more than that, 15 or something. Like that. Anyway, a set number of why even pick it up? Let's say 15 games, right? So you're going to play 15 games, and every time you finish one of those games, you are adding stickers to some of the components. New rules will come out. The plot might change slightly. The board layout will change. So this is, and by the end of it, your kind of board and the cards you have will be very different from most other people's experiences with those games and most people's stickers and stuff. I'd love to actually do Risk Legacy, the original, on this channel, just to show people how horrible that game is. I don't think I could get Alex to play that game again though. But yes, so Vampire the Masquerade Heritage is a legacy game. You are basically playing as a... So at the very beginning of the game, the general plot is that you are working together with a couple of other individual vampires. You kill an elder, and then it ignites this war that's going to go on for generations. Each game you're playing in a period of time, like the first one's 1305 to 1315.
14th century, beginning of the 14th century.
It's like over 15 years, and you choose a clan, and there's like 3 million clans in this game you can choose from.
I think there's like 6 basic clans and then like 4 advanced clans. There were quite a lot of clan boxes.
There was loads of clans. There's like 12 clans or something in there, and depending on player count, there's a lot of strategy in there about what you pick. But anyway, so you choose a clan to kind of like align with to begin with, and then there's 3 different boards, and there's also a recruitment board. So every turn you are recruiting a person into your bloodline. You don't get to keep that person, even though they're in your bloodline. Maybe they're killed off over years or something.
Maybe.
So you start with your leader, then you recruit somebody, you put them under there, and you get like a little triangle of these kind of this bloodline going down, which is pretty interesting. And then once you've recruited somebody, they have these 3 different like icons on there that do something to the 3 different game boards you have, and you really have to pay attention to what you are getting from the icons on there, because they matter for the game boards you're playing. So there's 3 mini games you're doing, plus another meta game where you've got these missions, which depending on how many of a particular type you have, which aren't just those 3 icons, they're various different other things, then you will be able to unlock something for your kind of the future of the game.
Those recruitment board missions, I just completely forgot about.
But it was the first time we played it, so it's very hard to keep track of like juggling everything.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, that's like a 4th game. You know, that meta game, and then the recruitment
and
game.
then Chris had on top of that another game, because the group he had picked were all about like a kind of not werewolf, but a vampire pack, but they're kind of like werewolfy. So he had to not only worry about the 3 boards, the mission board, recruiting the right people to influence those things. Not much errata for this game. What for Vampire Heritage?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that really annoyed me was in most games, once you've tapped a card and used it, you kind of then refresh it at the beginning of the next turn, and then you can use their powers again. We have got these like mini boards with lots of different things going on, and you know, I mean, I just felt that we could have got more power through the green and red bit. There's like a class battle.
Yeah, we may have been playing that wrong, to be fair, but there was nothing. But your point being that when you recruit someone, you activate them, which basically taps them, and then you basically move the 3 things on the different boards, and you could do some other things maybe with that.
Because if you refresh them, then I could see that when you recruit one, you tap the lineage, so that bloodline going down would all then activate,
and then all the things would happen.
Yeah,
and that playing the game that way might be a completely different game. I don't feel like it. I definitely don't feel that is how it works, because in the score summary, the top score was 18.
Yeah, and I think you're right as well, because I mean that would adversely affect the game that I didn't understand.
Yeah, we're talking in depth now together. We don't bother anyone. We're talking in depth about the mechanics of that. But errata wise, we weren't sure about whether you refresh stuff, because like you say, in most games where you tap somebody, you then would refresh. There'd be a refresh round, but there isn't any refreshing stuff. So yes, we had to look online, and we were both looking through various different like forums to try and figure out how this works. There's nothing in the book, like you say, no errata in there really. But I imagine looking online, there was quite a lot of the people who made this game. Lots of people on Board Game Geek actually responding to people and coming up with some very like thought out answers, and a lot of people going, actually that's cleared up a lot of stuff. The rulebook itself is kind of a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's kind of all over the place.
Most rule books are, to be fair.
No, I wouldn't say, because some are very well structured. It's very hard, to be fair to anyone making a rulebook, it's very hard to make them in a way that everyone is able to process information in a logical way. Because the way I would write it would be very different to the person who clearly wrote this one, and some other games that I play. But if you're very close to a game, it's very easy to forget that people don't understand what you're thinking. And how to play the game.
Hello.
Good evening, Sue. It's very nice to see you. She was on board our submarine.
Ah, yes.
Was she on board our submarine?
Which one?
Yes, she was.
So
was.
You sank with us.
Yes, she sank with us. I was thinking, it definitely was Sue. Yeah, cashing guns. Lovely to see you, Sue. We're just talking about the games we played this evening and today, which we enjoyed, and one that we thought was okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to play it again now that I know a bit more about it.
Yeah, this is definitely a game that, like, when you're playing a legacy game, I always find it's really tricky with legacy games, because the first game you play will have a big impact on the rest of the games you're playing. So when you're playing something which is a completely new legacy game, that very first play session, it's sometimes good just to have a practice run. Like, I think Gloomhaven did that. They had, like, the very first kind of mission, they were like, run this a couple of times until you're happy to, like, progress. And that, I think we ran it twice before we carried on that game, and then never touched it again after we got through about 10 or 12 missions. And now I've got it on Xbox, I don't need to play the game ever again in person. But legacy games, with this one, you definitely, because there's 3 different boards, you couldn't quite grasp one of the
I just couldn't get my head around it. It just made no sense to me, and then I was concentrating on the other 2 boards, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Just no. But yeah, now that I understand it a bit better, now that it's
I think it's got a lot of potential, and we didn't even mention the fact that, so we talk about recruiting, when you recruit someone, you activate them. You also have a hand of skin cards as well, and depending on which group you chose and which kind of clan, they have different skin cards which will affect the board. And unfortunately, Christopher, yours seem to be giving you lots of negative things.
Yeah, because you have power and you have infamy kind of tokens, which look like these blood diamonds, and
You had it infamy.
oh dear, and the infamy looked like yellow snow diamonds.
Yeah, you didn't want to look at those. What game were we talking about? We're talking about. Pass it over, Christopher. It's really heavy, that's why I got it passed over. Vampire the Masquerade Heritage. It is a Vampire the Masquerade legacy game by Nice Games. Nice. Yeah, it's been sitting on the shelf of opportunity for a while. We got it out because Chris was here, and I always feel my brother's very good to learn new games with, because I always feel like you've got a decent understanding. I mean, apart from this game we just played, no, you do have a decent kind of. We played the same games. We grew up together, clearly. So, so yeah, I feel like the weight of the burden of learning a game is not fully on me. If I'm playing this with Alex or Will, and it's a game that I'm teaching, or any new people, my friend Dave or Jack or Beck, if I am basically learning a new game and I brought it, the burden is on me to be able to teach the game and run that game. Whereas I feel if we're learning a game, I feel we're learning it together. Yeah. And it's not, there's not so much pressure, and we can fuck up together. It's fine. So overall, I thought it was enjoyable. I'm looking forward to playing it again. Yeah. And we just have to figure out how to film it on the channel. That's one of the things I struggle with sometimes, figuring out how to film these in an entertaining way for people to watch. Yeah, like these videos we're doing right now, not very entertaining, I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm on this one.
Oh yeah, you're on. That's good. That's good. I did enjoy the fact, though, I was struggling with a solo game, and then I just forced you to carry on playing it with me on camera. So
and I didn't help.
No. No, I was doing better before you joined in. That's the fun thing about that. But yeah, so it's a bank holiday weekend. Did you guys play anything? Is there anything you played? And Chris, was there anything you've played recently that you really enjoyed? I've been yammering on about all the lovely things at Aircon that I played. But is there anything you played recently that you quite enjoyed? What's waiting for people to tell us what they've been playing?
Well, for the first time at Aircon, I played a game for the first time called All Manner of Evil. And I mean, anything which has got a Lovecraftian theme to it is sort of my bag. I love everything to do with Lovecraft.
I was so annoyed playing that game. I don't know what it was. I think so. All Manner of Evil is a game that I've had for a long time. I backed it on Kickstarter, and by Colossal Games, I think, who did the fantastic Western Legends, which is over here. I think it's Colossal Games. They have a picture of a gorilla on there. Anyway, so yeah, they made it. It was a game I played lots of times at my old work because you can play in a lunch hour. It's really good. Hogwarts Legacy this evening by Sue. Not a board game though. We played Run on Your Holiday this week. Okay. How was Run?
Exhausting.
Probably pretty tiring. Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, I like Hogwarts Legacy. It's a
yeah,
good video
you've enjoyed that one.
Yeah. I mean, my mum's with my mum, our mum. She's your mum.
Oh, your mother or my mother? Both our mothers. Both of them. Both of them.
She's really enjoyed it, and it's really gotten her into playing Xbox games.
Yes, in her retirement, our mother has fully embraced Xbox and Switch and mobile games.
Yeah. I mean, she even downloaded Frostpunk on Xbox.
Have we managed to get ISS Vanguard out again? That is a very personal question. Have we managed to get it out, Nick? So I played with Will once on Monday this week. We've not played again since. So basically, Will is planning on doing like a bi-weekly or a monthly game of that, where people can just drop in. So it won't be this ugly mug every time. It'll be other people. Christopher might be able to join in 1 week or whatever. And the nature of it is you should be able to follow the plot. I absolutely loved ISS Vanguard. I thought it was really good, and I'm looking forward to playing more of that. And yeah, Nick, you'll be the first to know because I'll probably message you and be like, dude, I played Ice of Vanguard again last night. It was very good.
I've not played it yet, and I've heard good things about it, so looking forward to doing it.
Yeah, another game by Awakening Realms, which absolutely killer with their games. I'm looking forward to seeing some of their new stuff coming out as well, although haven't backed any of it. Hoping that somehow, like Marcin from there will be at the UK Games Expo, and I'll see him across a crowded room, and he'll be like, "This man, I know him from somewhere." And then I was trying to do an accent, and I stopped myself. And then he'll just come over and be like, "Adam, please, here is Stalker. Here is various different board games we've got coming. Please film them for me, please." And I'll tell him no, and then I'll walk away. But no, like Ice of Vanguard, we'll let you know if when we do that next. We're waiting for Will to edit that together. We're also waiting for the Eat the Reich footage as well, so we can edit that and put that up. So it's all on Will. So I'll be prodding him politely.
Because I'm really looking forward to seeing, watching back the
Eat the Reich. Yeah,
that
it's
was
so
such
fun.
fun.
But yes, All Manner of Evil.
Yeah, that has been one of my favourite games I've played quite recently. It was simple. You know,
I did enjoy it though, and I did enjoy it because like it's a game where you have like a roll card at the beginning, and both games we played of it, I was winning until the last turn where I had to choose a card to pick up, and the card was you change your roll, and the roll I went to maybe lose the game, and do that once to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, do it twice. And I'm like, Dungeon Saga Origins, you bastard. No, I'm pretty frustrated with it, so I was annoyed about that. But yeah, it's fun, but
I mean, it was unfortunate that you had that happen to you twice.
And there's some additional content in there that I've never seen, which you're supposed to scan a QR code to get like additional living rules to or something. So you've got the game to take a look at it and see what you can find in there. But yeah, All Manner of Evil, I'd say it's a fun game.
Yeah, generally, if you don't get roll changes.
Yeah, and Eat the Reich.
Eat the Reich. Love it. Absolutely love it.
That's all we're going to say.
Don't need to say any more than that.
If you guys are going to be at UK Games Expo this year, please let us know. Christopher and myself will be there.
We will.
We're going to be joined by various different people over time. We've got Board Game Julie coming over from Austria, who doesn't really know anybody, so she's messaged me like, Adam, can you please help me, show me around? So she's going to be hanging around with us as well, so that'll be exciting. It's always nice to have a female face on the channel,
yes.
Rather than having to look at these ugly mugs. So she'll be joining us around UK Games Expo. So the expo itself, Thursday night we'll be doing a live stream, which will be probably around the press evening, where we'll be going around and having a look at all the fun games. Do you know Hell and Anastia from Mythic Games to Simon? So Hell, Mythic Games are on my naughty list, and yeah, I don't wish anyone ill will from that company at all, but they absolutely screwed over their backers. So Hell, basically, that was a game that they made, then they didn't fulfill any of it, and then they sold the IP to Simon, and then Simon are making their own game of Hell, which isn't the game that people have already backed, and the backers of the original one are getting a base core pledge of their new game. So in some regards, if I was one of those backers, I'd be furious, because I'd be like, I've spent, and these aren't this size games. These are like big box games, tons of miniatures, lots of money you spend on that. It's a couple of £100 maybe if you've gone, fully in on this pledge. So you've spent that, that's gone. And with Kickstarters, it happens, right? Like they're not like a pre-order system, unlike GameFound, which kind of is at the moment. But Mythic Games failed on so many fronts. They failed on Darkest Dungeon, where they basically charged people twice for shipping, and include an additional kind of funds on top of that. Then with Rainbow Six, they absolutely screwed people over because they knew there were issues with shipping. They basically said, oh yeah. So I backed Rainbow Six. I quite enjoyed the video game, and it cost me £40 to back this thing. I think it was about £40. Postage and packaging on top of that, £50. So I thought for the base pledge with like some additional Kickstarter stuff, £50, that's not too bad. So around the time that was collected was when Darkest Dungeon, they realised there's actually an issue with this, we're not going to be able to get out to you. So then they said, people were saying, oh, there's an issue with Darkest Dungeon. Is there going to be an issue with Rainbow Six? I'm like, nothing. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry. It's all good. So it gets to the point of like producing this thing, and what they then say to you is, oh, okay, we're going to need some additional funds. So they've already charged you for the actual cost of it. Then see you soon. Have a lovely evening. I hope you survive the Easter holidays. They've already charged you for the core box. They've already charged you for the shipping. So then they say, right, we're going to need more money, and they were going to charge me an additional £70 for just the core box, and that's just the core box. If I got all the additional Kickstarter extras, it'd be a ton of extra money. Trying to get a refund is like looking for hen's teeth. It's impossible. No one gets back to you. So they totally screwed over their backers for Darkest Dungeon, because some people spent a ton of money, still don't have a pledge for that. I was very lucky. And we filmed some of it on the channel. I really enjoyed the game, but I got to a point, I was like, I don't like the company anymore. And they didn't send us a review copy or anything, not paying us to play this. And I felt like I was showing, I mean, nobody pays me to play games, guys. I'm just going to put that out there. They'll send me a review copy and I'll film as much as I can.
I mean, that's your ideal though, isn't it?
I mean, that'd be great. I could just quit my job and just play, be paid to play with cardboard. That's fantastic. But yeah, so I didn't want to give them free advertising. I really enjoyed the game. I felt bad because we had a lot of people come and join the channel to watch Darkest Dungeon, because it's a good game. The miniatures look very good painted, if I don't say so myself. I do say so myself. But yeah, I stopped filming it because I was like, I've just had enough. So you asked me one question about Mythic and it just sent me on a spiral, because honestly, I think their business practices are terrible. They clearly knew there were issues. They weren't upfront about it. And with Kickstarter, I feel is about, things can happen, and as long as you tell the backers what's going on, if you've completely messed up, then say something. Just go, okay, guys, this is the situation we're in. I've really screwed up. I'm really sorry about this. You could get a ton of hatred. Did I get Rainbow Six in the end, or did you write? I wrote it off. I asked for a refund. It's never going to happen. And the frustrating thing is, you can order it off for Forbidden Planet or Zatu or something for much cheaper than a core pledge would have cost you. And part of me's tempted to get it because it looks like a really fun game. Like the Rainbow Six gameplay itself looked really cool. It looked like a bit of a chess match because you're moving people around and there's a bit of a timer element. Really fun looking game, but it's going to take a lot for me to put on the channel because I don't want to publicize Mythic games.
This being a Friday, is this like a Friday falafel instead of a Wednesday waffle?
Chris has been sitting there whilst I've been ranting about this, going, what can I call this? What's that? Yeah, like obviously, like I say, Kickstarter's stuff does go wrong, but it's just frustrating when they just don't communicate it with you. Another person who has done this is a big person in the industry, Sandy Peterson, who he was behind Cthulhu Wars and various different well, he's the whole reason the Silver Twilight Lodge exists, right? Like he wrote a bunch of Cthulhu stuff. Anyway, he's been doing Kickstarter projects, and how it seems, because I'm not going to put out that this is what is happening, but how it seems is, it seems like he's not fulfilling stuff because he's using other projects to fulfill the stuff that he's done in the past. So there's a game I back called Dinosaurs versus Army Men or something like that, or Dinosaurs 1944. It just looks silly. I don't have any dinosaur games, and I was like, oh, it's Army Men versus Dinosaurs. That looks pretty cool. I put, I don't know, maybe £70 into that, and that just went quiet. And now there was some emails about a new company has taken over some of his stuff to try and basically get it out there. So there is a bit of a glimmer of hope for that. But I'm really not holding my breath. I think that's dead as well. But so yes,
you're not very good at holding your breath, so I wouldn't.
Well, okay, fair enough. I'll try not to. But yeah, so it's what it is. Overall, yeah, some games are pretty disappointing like that. Some companies are pretty disappointing doing things like that when they have really good games, but they have really bad practices. So, like I say, hell. If I was a backer, I'd be annoyed that I spent an X amount of money on a game I'm never seeing. But at the same time, I'd be quite thankful to Simon to actually make a game and just go, well, you spent £100 on this project. You haven't given us any money, but we're going to give you a free game. Like at least you can kind of go, well, I got something out of it. Yeah. It's not the game they pay for, which is really frustrating. But
it might be a better game.
It could be a better game, but. Yeah, how would you feel if you backed something on Kickstarter and you spent a couple of hundred and they went, it's not happening. Somebody else came along and said, oh, here's a different game. Here's a £30 game.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off.
But would you be more pissed off if they didn't? They said,
if they
said you don't give us anything, you're not getting anything.
Yeah, I'd be more pissed off if I didn't get anything. I mean, it's a consolation prize at the end of the day.
And to be fair to Simon, their core pledges, their core boxes are great anyway. You could just get one of those.
I mean, like I said before, Simon is a good name. It's a good brand.
Yeah. Conan from Monolith. We were talking about this earlier because I've never played Conan from Monolith. I've seen it and it looks great. And I think the new reprint of it is a great value for money. There's a ton of miniatures, a ton of content. You're going to be there for a while playing that game.
And I'm a big fan of Robert E. Howard as well, who is the creator of Conan. He was a contemporary of H.P. Lovecraft. They swapped ideas, and
others.
And so there's a lot of Lovecraftian elements within Howard's work, and there's a lot of Howard's sort of elements in Lovecraft's work. So there's kind of a nice little crossover for me.
Like that Rats in the Walls, where a big barbarian comes through and starts smashing through all the walls.
Right, yeah.
So you're there for the kind of the mythos and the lore. I'm there for rolling dice and stabbing people and stuff. I don't know too much about it, if I'm honest, but because, like I say, I see stuff on Kickstarter these days, and I try to avoid it because I'm like, if I look too deeply into this, I'm going to be sucked into it. But yeah, it does pretty good. So check it out. Monolith seem like a decent company as well. I'm trying to think what else they've done. I'm not sure I've actually played any of their games, but they always seem to have be able to fulfill their Kickstarters and have some decent polished games. So yes, that's good. And from our side, there's going to be some more games on the channel. It's going to get a bit quieter as the months go on, but Wednesday Waffles are still going to be happening. UK Games Expo, we're going to be filming a ton of stuff from that. And you're going to be seeing some Shadows of Brimstone stuff. I've not filmed any this weekend. I was hoping to, but I probably won't get around to it now. So middle of April, maybe you'll see some. I've got like a week with the kids, a week at work, and then a week on holiday. So probably not April actually. So what's after April?
May. But I am hoping to film some stuff for the channel as well.
This guy!
Yeah, I thought I might help you out. You know, I've got nothing else to do at the moment. So, so I thought...
Got nothing better to do.
No, so I thought what I might do is have a look at all of the times that you've gone wrong in the rules
You're
for
going to be
games.
there for a very long time.
And I'd sort of do like an FAQ kind of thing of, look, if you're playing this game, don't do it this way. This is where we went wrong. Learn from our mistakes.
There's a guy from the Dungeon Saga Origin forums you should speak to. He loves putting people in their place when they ask a question. Chris was going to maybe be doing some stuff, which is great. Yeah. Which is great. It's always good. And doing a little editing as well.
Yeah,
unboxing video.
We have see if it works.
Yeah. We've got Achtung Cthulhu coming next week, which after playing Eat the Reich, I'm very excited about getting back into World War II horror stuff. So we're going to try and film something live, well not live, but in person for a role-playing game rather than online. We have got lots of stuff in the can, like I said the other day, but we haven't edited yet. Dead by Daylight, we've got one of those videos still out with the Deathslinger. We have got, what else? ISS Vanguard, we've got Eat the Reich, we've got... a ton of games I can't remember now, which I said the other day, which we have in the can, but we just have not got around to editing. So look out for those. I think Buffet Boss will be up next week. I'm going to spend some time tomorrow, just editing that together. So
Buffet Boss is pretty awesome.
Buffet Boss is pretty cool, and the kids did a video on that, and that's quite sweet, really, to be fair. So they'll be doing that. We have some really exciting games coming through the post. We have Metal Gear Solid coming at some point this month, which is a game by Simon. You like the title right there, that name. So Metal Gear Solid, that should be pretty fun to play and show you guys. We have got Hunters AD 1442 or something, which is kind of like The Witcher. Okay. Looks pretty cool. Lots of miniatures. Really fun. We have League of Dungeoneers on the way. Thank you to Nick for hooking us up with that. We should get Dungeon Crusade. The guys got a bit quiet, but we should get Dungeon Crusade at some point this year.
And if you guys have not seen the trailer for Dungeon
Crusade... The trailer is nuts. I'm using nuts a lot recently to say stuff that's absolutely bonkers, but the trailer is nuts. This game looks incredible. So Dungeon Crusade is something we might get on the channel. or we might not, but we might do.
So. Looking forward to that if we do.
Because we might have some other games coming that I'm not mentioning, which are pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I definitely have something else. It's going to really annoy me. I'll come off this live and be like, well, there we go. Anyway.
We'll probably do another live in about an hour's time from your bed.
Yeah,
so
oh my god, remember this. So what do you think of the X-Men cartoon? X-Men 97?
Amazing. Cyclops. Yeah, he's my new hero.
Cyclops is the most dull character ever. And like whenever he's in a film or whenever he's in a cartoon and it turns out, I'm always like...
Can I just make an addendum to what you just said?
Boy.
Can I make an addendum to what you said? That is mainly in the films and the cartoon series.
I don't read the comic books.
Comic books, he actually develops really well, and they are showing it in 97. So
I would say going into the first episode of X-Men 97, I was watching some of the older X-Men cartoons. They don't all hold up, but they did a good job back in the day. And the theme tune's the best thing ever.
And the fact that they kept it as well.
So when X-Men 97 was on and Cyclops came in, I was like, oh great, this guy. But my word, for all those Cyclops haters out there, you need to check that out because it was just fantastic.
It will change your mind on him, I promise.
It will.
It will.
Or Christopher will be around and he'll change your mind. Did you notice in the third episode that young Jean was holding a Cyclops toy?
Yes, I did. And I thought, that's just hilarious.
Do we play by our own rules sometimes? As in
all
life?
The time.
Life or board games?
I mean, when do we... have you watched our videos?
Purposefully? No. No, so sometimes... So I would say... when we play board games, especially for the channel, we try to do them as written or as our interpretation as written, as close as possible, because I like to show you guys how the game plays, so that if you guys can get through 40 minutes of us just messing around with a board game, you've got an idea, or even if you get 15 minutes in, you've got an idea of how the game plays, and I know sometimes people learn different ways. I learn by kind of playing a couple of rounds, and that's how I pick things up, which is very helpful having you because we can do that. Whereas reading the rule book, I really struggle with. So watching a gameplay video, I find really handy. So I won't always watch how to play. I'll sometimes just watch a gameplay video and pick it up from how those people are doing it. So to answer your question, we try to play them as close to the rules as possible. Are there any instances you can think, Chris, where we purposely not play by the rules?
Do you know, it's on the tip of my... It's right at the back of my mind, because I know there is one that we did, and we just thought it was a stupid rule, we're not going to do it, and we...
Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven has a rule where you're not allowed to discuss what you do on your turn.
Yeah.
Now, the reason from the horse's mouth as to why this is the case is because Isaac Childress did not want people to alpha play the game. And the idea that if you have like a hand of like 7 cards or something like that, and you are asking everyone else around the table what their cards do, you could have somebody very easily being like, right, well, I've got these cards. On my turn, if I do this, you do that, and you do that. And if you've got one person being an alpha player doing a legacy game that takes most of your life, then that's going to be a bad time for everyone. However, the game group we had was very cooperative, very, weighing up opportunity, things. So there's a rule in Gloomhaven which basically says you cannot communicate what is in your hand. All you can say is you want to go first or last, because you put down initiative cards, the initiative number on them. So
we kind of overruled that, and I think again that is all dependent on the group of players that you've got with you. Because we were quite lucky in the players was one of our best friends and our dad. So you know there was a kind of a familial kind of group really.
Nick has just posted up saying that he thinks that Dungeon Saga Origins Glimmer of Green Mission 3 is probably going to be the first one that falls foul of us changing rules on it. So to kind of rebuttal this, so I played it twice. I played it the third time I played it. I actually changed the deck. Now this wasn't something I made up. This was something that's in the rule book to make things easier. So I took out all the negative cards, apart from I think there were 2 treasure chest cards in there which have nothing in there, which have an interrupt token on there. So yeah, I removed all the stuff that the book told me to remove to make it easier, and we still lost because the level design is not great. And there are at some points I would say where we don't play the rules like 100% on purpose when thematically it makes sense to do it this way. The first instance I can think of that is in Dungeon Saga Origins. I was playing a game where one of the guys got knocked out. Guess what? It was today. One of the guys got knocked out, and one of the other guys had an ability to basically charge 4 spaces and attack. But they would have landed on the same space that person was. But that person was exhausted, so I was like, thematically it makes sense. You'd run in and like smash someone with a hammer and finish this boss off. And by that time, it's the second time I played this level, and I was like, I just need to do something to make this more fun for me as I'm kind of filming this. So yes, we generally do play by the rules as best we can. We don't often play them correctly because rules can be interpreted differently. And yeah, I think that's probably going to be about that for us. I'm going to just take off the notification from my wife there. We've been on for nearly an hour. She's back with another notification, which is fantastic. It's lovely to be popular. So we're going to head off now. Thank you for watching us drone on for nearly an hour.
Well, mostly you.
Mostly me. Christopher just sitting there watching me get triggered by mythic games and various other things. Yeah, thank you so much for your support, guys. Thanks for watching this. And thanks for your continual support on the channel. And if you do see us in person, good night, Nick. If you do see us in person, please come over and say hi. Give us a crisp £5. Give us a crisp high five. And yeah, it's always good to kind of see the fans or the acquaintances.
Yeah, we'll be around all 4 days, won't we, for Games Expo? So if you see us, just come say hello. Yeah,
just come say hi, and we'll say it. Especially come say hi on the Sunday if you're there and you see me with my 3 kids, because my 3 kids are coming to the expo for the first time. They're going to be overwhelmed by how big it is. But they're like, Dad, people are going to know who you are. And I'm like, no, I'll have like maybe a couple of people at the stalls who know who I am, because I've spoke to them over the 3 days I've already been there. There may be some people who are content creators who know who I am, but the vast majority of the Great and Wash that will be there will have no clue who I am. So if you do see me on Sunday, please come over and say, oh, hi, Adam, because my kids will be like, oh my God, Dad's known by people.
In fact, I think our dad will be there on Sunday as well.
Oh, so you get to see the grandfather Die Rollin, the whole Treasure Saves. We're all going to be there, which is fantastic. But yes, so we're going to sign off now, and then you're going to see me trying to turn this off, which is always bad because the X is right next to the lens. It looks terrible. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, stay safe or
Die Rolling.
You didn't do the Spider-Man thing.
I didn't. I mean, it's not even going to go on the thing.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.